Welcome back to the fourth video of the consistency code. In this video, we're going to get into putting everything that you've learned together into a cohesive system. If you've wanted to have a regimen, a structure for your life that's consistent over the long haul and not just something that you pick up and then drop after a week or two or 12, this is the video that may create the fundamental and most important lifestyle mindset shift to empower you to actually fulfill on your goals and then keep the momentum going for the rest of your life. Because what you've been told about your body and the way you've been trained to take care of your health is pretty backwards in a lot of ways. And we're going to talk about what that is in just a minute. So let's get into it. To review from our last lesson, I just want to review the principle number one about life is that it works like a wave. It's not a linear thing. It works in these cycles. And we looked at that across hormones like melatonin over here, increasing in the evening, peaking in the middle of the night, and then dropping to normal during the daytime. The same thing goes for the cycles of night and day. The sun rises and then the sun sets. And so it goes around and around and around. The breath, we breathe it in and then we let it go. And so these cycles perpetuate themselves through all of life. Okay. Now, as we go through these cycles of life, your body is designed to adapt to them. So as we go through the body, your brain adapts. It learns from everything that you've been exposed to. Now, the thing to know about these cycles and the thing to know about the way these cycles impact you is that we live in a day and age where we're encouraged to view things as linear. You're encouraged to get a project in by 11 p.m. on Tuesday night. It's like a deadline. And the thing is, life is not linear. We might have these calendars that look like everything happens in an order, and there's one day, and then there's the next day, and then there's the next day. But there is a circular nature to life, which is not reflected by the way that we are trained. We're trained to, oh, if you got to stay up a couple hours for a project, that's just, you've got to do that. And then you've got to start the next day exactly when you would usually start it. So if you stay up until 2, then you still got to get up at 8 for your work. But that's just not how life works. Everything you're doing today is impacting you tomorrow. So that's how I invite you to start looking at your days, your weeks, your months. And the question is, how are you going to live out your days, weeks, months, and years? Now, this is the most simple way I can create this for you. And it's the most powerful thing that I know. This is, if I could share one thing with everybody about that would lead them to health, this would be it. It would be the cycle of day and night. It's the most fundamental thing, and yet it's the most powerful, because this cycle of day falling down into night, and then the day rising out of the darkness, rising out of the night, and this perpetual going around and around, this circle, around and around. This is how life works. And again, many of us we don't always live like this. So what I want to bring to your attention, what I'm going to show you on this next slide, is how I structure my life to achieve health in the way that I live every day. So a couple of things you'll notice here. The green circles are meals. The red circles are movement practices or workouts. So first thing in the morning, before I eat anything, personally, I do a morning practice right here at about 6 a.m. Sometimes it's a little earlier, sometimes it's a little later, followed by my breakfast or tea. Sometimes I don't eat, sometimes I fast until around noon or later. Now, there's a couple of options for my workout because sometimes my schedule fluctuates. I don't always work out at the same time every day. Sometimes I work out right before my biggest meal, which is my lunch. Sometimes I work out in the evening before my last meal of the day. But I'll tell you what I don't do is I don't work out. I don't eat big meals after a certain hour. If I'm going to be going to bed within 3 hours or 4 hours ideally, I don't eat a meal. Because when you're sleeping, your body is not optimally processing food, and there's a bunch of science to back that up. Also, you'll note that I put my biggest meal up here just after lunch, because that is the best time to eat. Because if you eat a big meal in the middle of the day, you have the rest of the day to burn off that meal and to make use of that meal. If you eat a giant meal right before bed, that thing is sitting in your gut. And if you eat a giant meal and go right to bed, man, you probably will notice that that's some of the hardest days to get up. It's hardest to get up after you've eaten a big meal and just gone to bed. So also from a longevity perspective, fasting in this way, this is even a considered a form of intermittent fasting, because you'll look, I'm eating less than 12 hours a day. Sometimes it's a little bit different, but if I'm having breakfast around 8 or 9 and I'm eating my last meal around 6, the majority of the hours in the day I'm not eating. And that is one of the best things you can do for your metabolic and long-term health. So there's that. So I just wanted to show you this, because the way that you create your day-to-day life, find what works for you. Find if you want to do a full workout in the morning first thing and just get it done, and then you're done for the day. Or if you like having options for your workouts, you want to find what works for you inside of this model of living in a cyclical type of life, and get used to it. Practice it every day. Do the same things. Now, the goal here is to automate the journey, right? Because life is so busy. When your life is packed, you want to take advantage of your brain's desire to automate everything. Your brain wants to make things automatic. So build a simple, clear system for yourself using this model, choosing the specific times where you're going to work out and the specific times when you're going to eat, and make those things repeating. Your body is going to adjust. Your hormones are going to adjust. Your metabolism, your enzymes are going to adjust to be released at the specific times when you eat. You're going to be prepared to work out because your body's used to it. Leverage the cyclical nature of your body and the adapting nature of your body to become a force of nature with this system. So this same thing applies to the week. The week is like a cycle. It's a larger cycle, right? But if you think about it, starting somewhere between Saturday and Sunday on the weekend, going up around, right? Monday, Tuesday, and then we've got hump day, right? Sometimes Mondays can be hard because you're climbing up this it just feels like it's just a hard climb up to the top. Wednesday comes, okay, you're starting to think about the end of the week. It's more of like a downward energy, right? Things are starting to flow. Things are starting to flow towards what? Towards Thursday and towards Friday, towards the weekend, right? Things become easier. So you can even think of this in terms of the energy required. You have to put in energy to get up to the top of the week. And then once you get up there, energy falls down and propels you into the next week. So each of these days have different ways that they can support you, and different rituals that can be done on each of these days. This is ancient. This is so ancient, y'all. Monday, Moon Day. Tuesday is Martes, right? Mars, Aries. Wednesday is Odin's Day. Thursday is Thor's Day. Friday is Freya's Day. This stuff, Saturn is Saturday. Helios, Sunday, the sun, the god of the sun. This applies across cultures too. These cultures have come up with the same sort of 7-day cycle. And so this is ancient. And by leveraging that which is ancient, and has worked for humans for millennia, we are building on top of the shoulders of giants and we don't have to reinvent the wheel. People have been healthy for long time by following this simple principle that life works like a wave and it goes around in a circle. So if we go to the next slide, you can see how I think about this and how I apply this to my week to week. So just generally speaking, Sundays when I start my week, I live out my days. And then when it comes to Thursday, that's when I'm trying to figure out how I can finish my work so that on Friday I can party. I can have a treat meal. I can drink some coffee. I can get all, excited about life and play around and stay up late and eat the things that I don't usually eat. And that's the day for that. And then Saturday is a rest day. Saturday is like, okay, I'm trying to chill and recover. Because then Sunday I'm starting again. And then so it goes around and around and around. Now, this also applies to the year. In the winter, or the fall rather, I'll start with the fall because that's where we are right now. Whenever you're watching this, it might not be the fall, but this is the time of letting go. This is the time of, okay, what do I need to let go of to go around again and be reborn so that I can set new intentions for my life, create new things in my life, and then go up to spring where I can have a new life. This is when I take on training rather intensely and really looking at, okay, what are my goals for the year, right? Intentions. In winter, I'm setting my intentions. In spring, I start fulfilling them. In summer, I start to celebrate. Okay, this is the halfway point. This is also when my birthday happens to be. Then I'm going around to the fall, letting go again. Okay, what have I taken on this year that I need to let go of? So it goes around and around and around. And by honoring this cycle of life, the circle of life, if you will, you're going to be setting yourself up to live a healthy life that is in alignment with the design of the body and the design of the physical universe. So how are you going to live your days, weeks, months, and years? Create your daily, weekly, and yearly cycles using this framework. Okay, for this week, I'm going to commit to doing my realignment ritual that I learned in the first part of the consistency code every day. Or this year, the practice I'm going to take on is every day I'm going to get up at by 7 a.m. or whatever it is. You want to start to create, you could even say monthly. You can create monthly cycles as well. Those are also another micro cycle inside of this like larger cycle of the year. But I invite you to take this and run with it. This is the path to health. It doesn't have to be a long time thing. You don't have to work out for a super long time to be healthy. What you need to do is live in alignment with the design of the human body, the design of the physical universe, and stop fighting against it as much as you can. Because everywhere that we fight against the way that our body is built is a place that we're spending energy that we don't need to. And there is a time to do that. There is a time to stay up late and deliver on projects. But there's also a time to rest afterward. And if you are cutting out your rest or you're cutting out your activity, you're going to feel like garbage because this is how you're built. So really excited that you chose to tune in for this. And I hope you found this useful. You can save all these videos, bookmark them if you want to come back to them and do the exercises at a later date. And I'll see you around campus. If you want to book a 30-minute power call with me, you can head over to chrglifestyle.com. On that website, you'll be able to find a link to book a call with me and discuss if there's things that you have questions on, or you have questions on how to implement this, or what exercises you should be doing, or anything that you're dealing with, or you want accountability. You can book a call with me. I invite you to do that. So again, thank you for tuning in. Have an amazing, charged up life.